Wonder Woman 1984. We've been waiting a long time for this film, and because of this disgusting world that we live in, this pandemic, which sucks, it ruined 2020 for a lot of us, we had to wait. But it is available now on HBO Max, and I did watch it on HBO Max, courtesy of John G in my Discord server. If you want to join the Discord server, you have to become a member of my main channel, Geekdom 101. So go to Geekdom 101, click any video, click the join button underneath the next to subscribe button, and then it has to be tier 2 or higher. There's going to be a video there so you can see what tier you want. There'll be a video there telling you about the tiers. Again, go in there, subscribe, or if you haven't, hit the membership, the join button, become a member at tier 2 or higher, and then go to the community tab. That's where I give you instructions on how to join the server. But anyways, that's how you join the server. But we're not doing that here on this video. Today we're talking about Patty Jenkins directing Wonder Woman 84. The same director from the first Wonder Woman film. Same one who will also be directing an upcoming Rogue Squadron live-action Star Wars film. And that should be fun because Patty Jenkins is a very talented director. But the question is, could she pull it off? Could WW84, Wonder Woman 1984, could it be good, as good as the first movie? That's the big question. Before we talk about that, I want to say that, hey, this is my first movie review for a new movie since February, right? Since Sonic the Hedgehog. And secondly, this is going to be a non-spoiler review for the film. A spoiler review will be out on the channel tomorrow. Now, I want to say that, first and foremost, when it comes to this movie, that it's a very different movie from the first one. It's very different. They have very different tones. Not different as far as in quality, right? Because there are things I like more about this one. There's things I like more about that one, honestly. But the tone is different. The second movie, this movie was a lot more funnier. It was a lot more, it took place in the 80s. It was a lot more comedically based. There were more slapstick comedy. It was more lighthearted as well than the first one. Even though there were dark moments, it just seemed very much more lighthearted. That's one thing I will tell you. Also, this film is very beautifully shot. Patty Jenkins is a great visual filmmaker. The movie has really awesome wide angle shots and big sort of panning shots and whatnot of from the sky down, that sky cam where you can see the mountains and everything. Just looks really, really great. And the movie's also very colorful, the way it does things. It's just, it's a very good looking movie. So, again, I'm going to avoid spoilers here, okay? But the plot of the movie, I think, is better than the plot of the first film. I'm going to say that. It actually has a much better plot. And the villain in the movie, the two villains, well, there's two villains, but one of them, which is Pedro Pascal's character, the Donald Trump wannabe, as they call it. They say he's like Trump. There's only a few similarities, mostly in the hair and whatnot. Only a few similarities, but something happens where he gets a very unique power, right, without spoiling it, and it's a power that we've never really seen before in comic book movies. We've seen all kinds of different powers from villains for years and years. This was very unique and different. I don't want to spoil it, but because it's a major part of the plot, but he gets an ability that we've just never seen before. And I really, really liked it because it provides a bit of a challenge as far as how to cast a good, how to tell a good story. And it also provided, a little bit of a, again, something different. Now the other villain, of course, is Cheetah. This is no spoiler here, played by Kristen Wiig. First of all, I want to say this before we go on any further. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman is hot as hell, bro. Look, you know how I get on this channel, bro. I'm not going to BS you guys. I'm going to hit you guys with how I feel about the movie. Gal Gadot is freaking smoking hot throughout this whole freaking movie, dude. It's mind-boggling how gorgeous that woman is when she plays Wonder Woman. I mean, she's just adorable. She's had her sexies when she's with Chris Pine, being a regular girl. It's just sexy as hell. Now, what surprised me was Kristen Wiig. I've never really found her attractive, but in this movie, dude, there's a scene in particular where she goes to the gym, right? And she wears this very skimpy gym outfit where she looks, I was like, damn. I was just floored. So look forward to that. Look forward to some eye candy in this movie. But her character was very similar to Selena Kyle from Batman Returns. Very similar. In fact, the Donald Trump guy played by Pedro Pascal, his character was a lot like Max Schreck. So I can see some similarities between this and Batman Returns. You know, her character, the Cheetah, is very similar to other villains in this genre. You know, they have to control their envy and whatnot, and their envy is what drives them to want very greedy things. But at the same time, there's the good side to them, and the reason why they have this envy is because life's given them a bad hand. You know, this movie really does have some deep messages about attachment, about love, about sacrifices. There are some messages in this movie that were very powerful. There were some things that were also kept off screen that I wish were on screen. But, you know, it's whatever, man. That's a flaw of the film, if you ask me. Now, some of you guys are probably wondering, okay, Chris Pine, how did he come back? Well, they do explain it in the movie, how he comes back. It's actually part of the plot. And as far as that goes, I think if you haven't seen the movie yet, some of you are going to like it, some of you are not going to like it, depending on how you feel about it. This movie felt a little less down to earth than the first one. You know, obviously, Wonder Woman is very powerful. You know, she's a goddess, pretty much, right? But at the same time, in Wonder Woman, the first one, they kept her kind of more grounded. This movie goes for the more fantastical. You know, there's things that happen here that are totally beyond anything we've seen before. There are actually things in this movie that she does that are just mind-blowing to where I'm like, come on. Like, I'm just like, kind of like unrealistic, but that's okay because it's a comic book movie. But at the same time, even for a comic book movie, it's still a little too much, but not in a terrible way because it's still a fantasy film. So you can't really go crazy over things like that. But there's a couple of scenes in the movie where Wonder Woman does things. Like, for example, this scene with this tank chase where she does these things that are just downright crazy. But at the same time, she is Wonder Woman. So we can't really take that away from her. But at the same time, this film figured out a brilliant way to nerf her. And again, that's also part of the plot. What made this movie so awesome as far as the writing goes is that, first of all, it's a lot funnier than the first one. I'll tell you that much. The dialogue is funnier. But secondly, everything revolves around the plot. Like, they managed to still kind of give you a character-driven story because the character of Diane, the character of Cheetah, they're good characters. Like, when you watch the film, you can relate to them as good guys or as villains. So that, to me, makes a well-written movie. But it's also all about the plot. Like, the plot of this movie and what happens, like, everything drives the plot, including the return of Chris Pine. So they do explain this in the film. How things happen, what it means, and whatnot. But it's a very emotional film. Overall, I did like this movie a lot. I had a good time watching it. I'm not really sure if it's really got too much replay value. I think it does. Probably about as much as the first one. It's not one of those movies that I want to rush to go see again, like Avengers Endgame or Infinity War, where I was just dying to see it again after I just finished watching it. But that's more of an event movie, you know what I mean? This is... You know, that's more of like the Justice League type of thing. But this movie did feel, you know, good. And I probably am going to watch. I think I am going to watch it again very soon. It's on HBO Max for 31 days as part of the new HBO Max gimmick. But it's also in theaters as well. So if you have HBO Max, you have a month to see this movie. And if you don't, you can sign up for it. Or you can go to theaters and pay every time you go. Or just get the AMC thing if you have it. But... overall, though, the movie I think is a thumbs up. But as far as whether or not I like it more than the first one, you know what? I'm probably going to watch it again before I do my spoiler review. That way you have a much more clear analysis of the film after I see it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I need to see it one more time to really give you a full spoiler review and give my thoughts, see if I like it more than the first one. But because I think the first one had a lot more satisfying... There were parts of it that were more satisfying, okay? There were some parts of it that were more satisfying. With this one, it's... like, there were some things that were a bit of a letdown, honestly. But otherwise, it was a fun movie. I really enjoyed it, and I think you will too. I hope that Justice League Snyder Cut does well, because right now, DC is on a roll here. You know, Shazam did great. A lot of good things coming from the DC camp. Right? A lot of good things coming from that camp, and I hope they can keep it up. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the spoiler review. If you have seen the movie, we'll talk about everything there and the spoilers. don't leave spoiler comments down here. We'll talk about it there in that video. But if you are avoiding spoilers, do not read the comment section. Just go see the movie. Just go see it on HBO Max. It's there. Anyways, that's it. Talk to you soon.